how do you manage to turn a women's health topic into a problem for the boys? Hey guys, it's Sharon. It is officially the last week of the month and the last posting day of the month, so that can only mean one thing on this channel. So if you're new, if you are not, welcome or welcome back. Every single month at the end of the month, I make period horror stories videos. This is like a long-running tradition we have on this channel. And today's video is your first period horror stories, which I actually have, I think maybe a part 1 and 2, maybe a 3. I'm not entirely sure. I make a lot of period-related content. I have a playlist called All About Periods where it's literally, you guessed it, all about periods. So if you need some help or you just want to feel like you can relate to someone who gets the mother nature and knows how much the mother nature sucks, yes, I said the mother nature then, I got you, sis. But anyways, if you want to see more videos like this, give us a thumbs up and let me know in the comments below. Make sure you follow my Instagram, my TikTok, and my Twitter so you have a say in my videos, get a chance to be in them, and even get to be shout out of the day. But enough about that. Go grab your snacks, grab your tea, and go grab your period supplies, and let's get into this. Actually, wait, before we do, I just realized this is my last video before spooky season. So if you have any spooky requests, let me know in the comments below. But now let's get into this. Me and my friends were filming a movie for a Halloween contest. I was playing the victim, it was dark, and my friend came in with a cardboard axe. I had to scream, and when they turned the lights on, I was actually covered in blood. My friends showed the video to the whole school. On the bright side though, as mortifying as it is to have everyone see you just covered and soaked in your own period blood, at least no one knows that's what it was. Because what other perfect scenario than a scenario where you're supposed to be covered in blood? I generally believe Halloween is the best time to get your period, because if you leak through your costume, just say I am a bloody version of this costume. So this right here is like the dream sake. At least no one knows until they watch this video and then they're like, wait a second. But they'll still never know it was you. I didn't get my first period until 9th grade and all my friends already had theirs. So when I first got mine, I was really excited and I accidentally said it really loud in the cafeteria, and my crush next to us said I was nasty and shouldn't talk about that stuff. I only hope from this moment on that was no longer your crush, because first of all, who you calling nasty? I literally cannot control a period. They're natural. I would've been like, you know what else is nasty? Your attitude and your face, bye. My friend had a presentation in front of the class. Suddenly, after a minute, you just saw the blood dripping down her leg. The teacher, who is a female, told her to continue and said a period isn't an excuse. We all stood up for the girl. She went to the restroom and I, with some friends, went to the principal while her boyfriend was yelling at the teacher for saying, this will be an F. At the end of it all, the teacher got fired because of too many kids complaining about her. I agree, the teacher sucks. I hate the term a period is not an excuse, because half of me is like, don't let the period stop you from doing something. You are strong. You can do whatever you want. But then the other half of me is like, yo, sometimes that be hurting a lot. Like, if you're in front of a classroom and suddenly there's blood dripping down your leg, it's not even, I can't continue doing this presentation. It's more of, maybe I shouldn't continue this presentation because my body is literally leaking blood and I need to go take care of this. So there's a difference between could and should. So this teacher should have just let the girl go to the bathroom and maybe she wouldn't have gotten fired for sucking so much, but it is what it is. I was walking in class and all of a sudden I saw this girl taking her dirty pad and wiping all the lockers with her period blood. I went to a teacher and told her what was happening. It turns out she got her first period and wanted to share her blood. You imagine just walking down the hallway at school, you're going to class, you're running late for class, you know, no one else in the hallways, you see this one girl just take her bloody pad and just smear it all over the lockers. And she's smearing it all over your locker. I would puke. Wholeheartedly, I would puke, because something is not right with that girl. I am so sorry if you are out there watching this, but why would you do that? Why would you want to share your blood with someone else? Like, are y'all vampires? I'm confused. Edward, are you here? Like, I was at my dad's house on Thanksgiving and I was too embarrassed to say anything, so I just wrapped my underwear in toilet paper for the whole week. I get it. I get like not wanting to tell your dad you're on your period, because in your dad's eyes, you're always like, daddy's a little girl, you know, you're an angel, you're a child. You will always be like 5 years old to him, coming from a daddy's girl over here. But it's like, your dad has to know what a period is, because your dad knows that a period did not happen and you did instead, you know? I understand that guys can get a little bit weird, especially like maybe dads can get a little bit weird about a period, but it's like, you got no other option unless you want to use toilet paper, which I mean, if you're a heavy bleeder and you you got a very heavy and thick period with 2 C's, you might not want to rely on toilet paper for a week. Don't be embarrassed because, again, periods happen and people know that periods happen. They may act weird about it, but it's like at the end of the day, people will stop acting weird about it if we make them more normal and we talk about them more, which is crazy that they're not already, but alas, here we are. I was at the pool when I got it. A lifeguard came up to me and told me to leave as I'm corrupting young kids. Excuse me, you're doing what to young kids? How am I corrupting a child by having my period? What if that child is a girl or has a vagina and will also get their period eventually? How am I corrupting them? It's not like I'm playing songs about like drugs and sex and money and like killing people over here. So a period can corrupt a kid, but not those violent video games they play? Okay, sir, got it. I got my first period a couple hours after watching Sharon's videos. I mean, what can I say? The universe works in funny ways. If anyone gets their period after watching this video, let your girl know. I went to the washroom and saw blood. My mom told me I had gotten my period. I didn't know anything about a period because all the health classes I went to told us that we are not allowed to talk about periods because they are gross and will scare the boys. How does me having a period concern the boys? You're really worried about my period scaring the boys? They don't have periods. They don't have nothing to worry about. How do you manage to turn a women's health topic into a problem for the boys? Please get out of here. So a period can scare a boy, but again, not the violent and murderous and scary video games that they play. Y'all are dealing with the wrong problem here. My friend didn't know what a period was. Her parents were extreme Christians and didn't even allow her to take sex ed. She got up from her seat in class because she had a stomach ache and went to the bathroom. She returned crying her brains out. She had a huge stain and said that she was dying because she was bleeding from her downstairs area. The English teacher actually put her in detention for being too dramatic and didn't even explain the situation to her. This teacher really truly sucks. Sure, she may have been dramatic, but it's because she has no idea what a period is, and that is the problem with young girls or young people who have vaginas and will bleed, is not knowing that they will bleed eventually. Like, why do we keep that from these people? Your vagina is gonna bleed. You should be at least warned that your vagina is gonna bleed. I had no idea. I was like, oh my god, I'm literally dying. Maybe I could have known, hey, you're not dying, if I had known that a period existed. I hate people. A friend from dance started in the middle of ballet and didn't have anything, so she basically got yelled at by her ballet teacher for not being responsible and being prepared because her teacher didn't know it was her first. I don't think it matters if it's your first period or not. It could be your 100th period, your whatever period. You've had your period for 20 years. I don't care. If you have your period and you are not prepared for it, I feel like someone can't get mad at you for it because at the end of the day, you can still be so prepared and you could still find yourself in a situation. You might have supplies, but you don't have the supplies on you. The other thing is, your period can come whenever the heck she feels like it. So when you take that not being prepared and you mix that with the randomness and sporadicness of a period, it's like, Teach, how could you really be mad at me? Do you have a period? Do you remember what it's like? Shame. When I got my period, I didn't tell my mom for 3 months. I was just bleeding on my pants when I got it because I didn't have anything to use. I was embarrassed to ask. This is like just the really sad part because if periods were more comfortable to talk about, then people wouldn't feel ashamed or embarrassed to talk to someone about their period or ask for supplies, especially if it's their first period. So if you're watching this right now and you've never had your period or you are still not used to having your period, just understand that they are normal. And please don't be afraid to ask for supplies because at the end of the day, like, your favorite pair of jeans, is it really worth getting ruined over not asking mom for pads or tampons or whoever? Just think about it that way. Your jeans might be a little bit more expensive than a box of tampons or a box of pads. So if that helps, like, I got my first period on Thanksgiving. I told my cousin first and then my mom, who then told all the women in my family. I heard her from the upstairs bathroom while she was in the kitchen, so I can only imagine who else heard. Listen, I don't know your culture, I don't know your background, but all I'm saying is, if this is not a Hispanic family, y'all, when I got my first period, obviously I go to mom and I'm like, yo, what the heck? What is this? And she's like, oh my god, you got your period. Within 5 minutes, she was on the phone with my aunt, with her best friend, with my grandma. Every woman in her contact list knew that I was on my period. And I was just like, why are you the way that you are? I felt this. After 10 minutes of wearing a pad, I was uncomfortable, so I took it off because I thought that the bleeding would happen, stopped for a little while, then happen again. Long story short, I got blood all over my PJs. So here's the thing. Yeah, you do bleed for a bit, then your body holds off, then you bleed for a bit again. But the catch is, you don't know when your body's gonna bleed again, so that's why you keep a pad on for the entire time. The second you take your pad off, like this person, your vagina could be like, I'm gonna unleash the river now. So you're not bleeding for 7 days straight nonstop, but you are bleeding in like little breaks, if that makes sense. So basically you just don't know when you're gonna bleed, but just know that you're gonna bleed. Yeah. I got my first period at church. I don't mean to be offensive in any way, but why was my first thought, I don't need the blood of Christ, I suddenly just have my own. Please forgive me, that was just my first thought. I told my mom the next day and she just said, oh, that sucks. Hope you know how to use a pad. Long story short, I didn't. I thought that you weren't allowed to pee on your period because you have a pad on like a diaper. At least I know now, but I'm still scarred because I didn't pee for a whole day. I have so many things to say. So number one, don't hold your pee in. I understand you might not be able to go pee or find a restroom. Then I mean, like in those situations, sure, hold it. But if you can go to the restroom, do not hold your pee in. That's not good for you. Number two, how is mom just gonna be like, hope you know how to use a pad? What do you mean you hope I know how to use a pad? Why don't you teach me how to use a pad? Hello? Number three, so pads aren't really like diapers, so like you don't pee in your pad. I mean, if you pee in your pad, it's not like it's illegal and you're breaking the law or something, but they're mainly just made for blood. So if you gotta pee, go pee in the toilet, but bleed in the pad, you know? Well, I guess you didn't. So now you do know. I got my first period at school and none of my friends had any period products, so I went the whole day with nothing to stop the blood until I had sports, and this girl that hates me gave me a tampon. I have said this before and I will always continue to say this. I think the one thing that bonds girls like there is no tomorrow is their period. I've definitely been in the situation where I didn't have any period supplies and I needed a tampon, and I have gone up to random girls and been like, do you happen to have a tampon? And without hesitation, they're like, yes, of course. And if not, they're like, no, I'm so sorry. But you know, the point is there is someone out there that is willing to help, because like we get it. So sometimes enemies can become besties just off a period. I got my first period when I was 8 and I was the flower girl at my aunt's wedding. I started leaking while walking down the aisle, and along with the trail of flowers, I left a trail of blood. Suddenly this just turned into like a horror movie, Halloween themed wedding. I just hope red was one of the color schemes. If not, good luck, Charlie. At least it really was a memorable wedding and one they will always remember. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give us a thumbs up. If you have your own first period horror stories that I did not share but you would like to share with us, make sure to leave them in the comments below. Like I mentioned, I make this video once a month, every single month, like a period, and I do have a whole playlist on my channel titled All About Periods that includes more stories like this, but also advice, tips, tricks, and hacks for school, and a lot more. So if you want to go check that out, definitely feel free to. Shout out of the day goes to Sophie on Instagram. Thank you so much. If you'd like to be shout out of the day, just follow me on my Instagram and stay active. This is my usual content. I also have a playlist called Girl Talks where I answer all your questions that you were too embarrassed to ask someone else. And I also have another playlist called Revealing Secrets where I just read, reveal, and expose all your embarrassing secrets, embarrassing stories, and confessions anonymously. So lots of tea on this channel and lots of relatable stuff and lots of help. So I got you, sis. All that being said, if you want to see more, definitely subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys next time. I'll see y'all in spooky season. Bye.